Well, plans are underway to create a black-owned bank that will empower small businesses. The Black Business Council says the bank would make it easier to access loans. According to BBC Treasurer General Bonolo Ramokele, the bank will target people who live in rural areas and in townships. Ramokele was speaking to eNCA's Tony Ndoro earlier about the bank.
We still have a significant chunk of the people in the country which are unbanked, and even those who are banked, some of them are actually accessing just the bare minimum in terms of the product offerings. So we are looking at a bank that is going to be able to talk to the needs of SMMEs, of black-owned companies, of people in rural areas to be able to access loans against underpinned by the land that they have in villages and townships and so forth, which current banks do not actually give them. And what we are looking at, we're not looking at a pie in the sky type of endeavor. We've got a very low-hanging fruit in African Bank, which is currently majority owned by the state, 50% by the South African Reserve Bank, 25% by the Government Employee Pension Fund, and then 25% by various consortiums of the
Do you want to take over
banks.
African Bank? Is
that is the plan. In fact, we have already written to the South African Reserve Bank, we've written to National Treasury expressing that the Black Business Council want to lead that charge to be able to take over the bank. And we're very much happy with the bank, to be quite frank. The bank is well run. The only bank that is being run by a black woman in this country. And we welcome that it's got a strong board in terms of oversight, a strong chairperson. So we're very happy with African Bank as a first.
What has the response been from the Reserve Bank?
Pardon?
The response to your communication to the Reserve Bank?
We are going to actually be having a much more detailed engagement. As the BBC, we're going to be sitting down with all of our affiliates in the new week. That is all of our affiliates in APSIP, in ABASA, in BMF. And you are dealing with people who actually work in the banking environment. You're dealing with people which are serious executives in the banking environment, together, funny enough, with the people who ran African Bank before it was actually handed over to the people who bought it in the early 90s. Remember that African Bank is actually a Black Business Council initiative. It was founded by FABCOS and NAFCOC, which are affiliates of the Black Business Council. It was founded by luminaries such as Dr. Semutsu Wenyane. So we're simply just taking back what is rightfully belonging to black people.
Now, as BBC, you've come out and said your main aim is to fund SMEs and so forth, because you're saying they're not getting any funding at all from the big 3 or 4 banks that are there at the present moment. How do you plan to do this? Because there are risk factors involved here, are they not?
100%. And we are saying that this bank is going to operate as it is on commercial terms. Remember, there are issues such as Basel Capital Accords that you have to actually comply with. There's Reserve Bank requirements you have to comply with. We are not talking here that we're going to come in, guns blazing and just literally dispensing out loans willy-nilly. No.
So what makes it different then?
What makes it different is that you're going to have a bank that has a heart, a bank that is approachable, a bank that is whose main strategy is to actually look at empowering black-owned businesses.
But this is also a business. A business 100%. Can have a heart, but ultimately you need to stay afloat.
100%.
I need to be able to see whether you can be able to pay back my loan. Yeah. Are you business savvy? Do you have a business plan? Surely you have to look at all of those things. Can you manage the money? Do you have the skills required? Will you be able to upskill some of these SMMEs as well?
100%. And I'm glad you asked us, Tony, because that is one of the key questions that gets asked of our members and generally black people when they're trying to access finance in the existing environment. To say that, Tony, you look a bit risky. You don't look like you're going to be able to you don't look the part. So we are saying that we want to give each and every individual black people an ear, a fair environment whereby they're not going to be paying exorbitant interest rates and also actually getting an ear and being able to get an open door to be able to pitch what you call their businesses, their houses, and get mortgages in rural areas and so forth, so that they can actually be able to unlock the wealth that people hold in those particular areas.
Well, no, quick one, very quick one. When can we expect this to materialize?
We're going to be having engagements with the relevant regulatory bodies as well as the management. We've had engagements actually with the management of African Bank. We're going to be having engagements with our own affiliates, setting up a proper task team with all of the relevant professionals who know how to get these things done. So in terms of timelines, as in yesterday, if we can get it done.